Okay, let's go. Well, welcome back to the Coffee Pod.
Welcome back
I thought it was
again.
Cormac and Friends.
Major.
Cormac and Friends, yeah.
Yeah, but it was Cormac and Friends, but that was in the previous recording when everyone found it funny. But
Well,
Robbie
actually, it
forgot
wasn't a
to
recording
click
because we
press
talked for about
record.
40 minutes straight and I didn't hit the record button.
yeah. We
Yeah,
Cormac made,
so
basically
listen,
Cormac made a really good joke at the beginning of the last one, and no one's going to hear it.
Yeah, that's
Nobody.
exactly it. Delighted.
now no one will
It's exactly
ever
what he
hear it.
deserves. Exactly
And
what he
listen,
deserves.
it actually was probably probably the best podcast we've ever done. But now this one's gonna be a poor one.
Yeah,
So
we are
we have
absolutely
now set
swinging
up to
it.
be
Now, this useless.
poor, so poor.
Poor.
Yeah. So welcome back. This is on the day that we've finally
Absolutely
found out
nothing to
that
talk
we are
about.
going back. Yes, we're going back to the 12 o'clock nightclubs. Nightclubs are now closed, which is gone. Pubs
But
are gone.
as we established in the last podcast, it's too grim of a topic. It's too sick of
It's
fucking
very
talking
grim.
about
I don't want to talk
COVID
about
and
talked
stuff
about
like
for
that.
20
It's
minutes
fucking
there, but an hour ago, and I don't want to talk about
fed up talking.
Set up,
It'd be
boiling my blood.
depressing.
I'm after isolating myself in this room for the last 10 days after doing 4 podcasts because Robbie forgot to press record. Jack, you had a good question there. Jack, as usual, comes in with a great question.
Question time
Me
with
and Rob
Jack.
don't really do much, so all we do is
Yeah, we just
answer
like
Jack's
sit here.
questions. It's like Jack's like Chris Tarrant to the podcast.
Yeah, gonna phone a friend.
He wants to be a millionaire, and we just want to keep going. Me and Rob are just sitting beside each other like two dumbasses going, hey, nice one.
Oh, do you have a question?
But,
okay. Very good, very good.
No, Jack. Okay, hit us with another one.
Right, this week's question: best Irish sports person of all
Question
time.
of the week. Best Irish sports person of all time.
Best Irish sports person of all time.
I know. Do you know what? I think a better question would be top 5. Because
Jesus, Cormac, fucking throwing Jack underneath.
No, but think about it this way.
Yeah,
think about it this way, right? So if you go, if you can
Question
bring
time
it
with
to the
Cormac.
number,
Yeah,
but you can
Cormac
bring
and
it to the
friends.
number 1. But you can bring it to the number 1. But if you have 5, you can tell me why they're not.
I'm gonna say
5.
Bono.
Okay.
Bono's a great hurler.
It's only me and Jack in the podcast now. It's great. So me and Jack.
Yeah, but lads, even advantage here. I don't know anything about Irish sport.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
McGregor and
well, I'll tell you, right. I'll tell you, 5 is big. Right? I'll start you off with my number 1 anyway. Maybe go with 3. But my number 1 is Katie Taylor. I think
has to be there.
She has to be number 1, right? Like
has to be in it.
She's the best boxer in the world. She's from Lisdowney. She works in the chipper there.
Taylor's munch boxes.
That's a different thing altogether. You're looking at your internet. You're looking at your internet history there, Carrie.
Sorry, that was a rough one. If she ever wants to open a chipper, it'd be an apt name. But I apologize.
Oh, I don't know. I don't. Katie's munch boxes. Are you serious? Jesus. Can you imagine if Katie Taylor, after her next knockout fight, she says, yeah, this is actually my last fight. I'm going to open the chipper in Bray. Oh, really, Katie? What are you going to call it? Katie's munch boxes?
Oh, that was.
Your impression of her is so funny as hell.
Oh no! Imagine that, Katie. If you're listening, don't it's copyright now. You owe us royalties for that one and a free munch box.
We're just after naming her the best sports person in Ireland. After ripping her apart in the same sentence.
She'd come out and she'd box the head off all of us now.
But she is like, no, in fairness, but she actually is. She is fucking hell. She is though. Like she's just like the amount she's done is just insane. Yeah. Like you're still like when you're putting up there, like at the moment she is probably Ireland's best ever. But you'd also have to be talking about like Pádraig Harrington has to be up there.
Yeah. Would he be the best golfer we ever had, Carl?
Best golfer we've ever had.
Better than Rory?
Well, it depends what
Rory's
you categorize as Irish. Does he? Yeah, I presume he does. He
No, but yeah,
Ooh,
what's the
tin of
story with
worms
that?
there.
Remember a
Yeah.
while ago, he was like saying he was Northern. He represents himself as an Englishman, and then in the
No, sure, he
Olympics,
represented us in the Olympics,
He's
yeah,
didn't he?
represent.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. But then in the Olympics, then he went to be chose Ireland.
Sure, the
he,
Brits would
he's
try to claim him, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
but
but
like
Like,
he actually said it himself,
he
though.
said himself like
what did he?
he
Yeah,
considers him. He said he's no allegiance to a country or something. He considers himself from
Oh,
Northern Ireland, but he went and played for Ireland. But anyway, but you'd have to look at Park Harrington. Like he's two British
right.
Opens 2 years in a row, and
Yeah.
a US Open as well, like or
Mm.
USPGA, which is
Mm.
just like
hmm.
that's like how good. Like that's just not even like someone wins a major from Ireland.
I could do
You're
that in
like,
my sleep.
Christ. But he's
Hmm.
like he's just absolutely insane.
And Shane Lowry, he wouldn't be up there. That now, I suppose the difference now is like
What's
the
he?
best. You're talking about best as in best player or achieved the most. Do you know, like
He
because
achieved the most. Like Shane Lowry's won the British Open. If he won, probably another. Like Shane is obviously brilliant, and I absolutely love him. But I just don't think he's in that category because
yeah, I
then you look at Roy Keane. Like Roy Keane has to be in there
Roy
as
Keane
well.
for me
yeah,
is number one.
yeah.
Well, I don't
Yeah,
know.
like
I like it might be. I'm gonna
He's
say
won a
McGregor.
shit ton. Like
I'm gonna say
he's won a shit.
McGregor just because that
when he is
that our rise to fame was just
Yeah, it was
insane.
insane.
Like
Whether you like him or hate him.
exactly like he basically blew the UFC up. Like who the fuck knew about the UFC
Yeah.
before McGregor? Like I know obviously people did or whatever, but like it was
They sold for
nowhere
$4 billion.
yeah,
But like then you
come
suppose
on,
the
like,
other thing is like do you put the GA lads, like what GA lads get into
Yeah.
it, because I know they haven't gone in worldwide, but they still like you're looking at
Irish
Henry,
sports people.
you're
Tommy
looking
Walsh.
at Tommy Walsh, then you're looking like I suppose probably Henry go a bit more because he broke a few records as well, but you're looking at a few others like along. Then you're looking at I say Christy Ring, but you're going back years. Then there's the lads that like that lad that came second, Eamon, what's his name? That came second in the running for the Olympics, Sonia O'Sullivan.
Oh,
Uh,
I'm thinking of the Paralympic fella. Who's the Paralympic fella from
the
sprinting?
Paralympic sprinter.
What's
as
his
well.
name?
Like there's
Can't think his name.
good. Like he's won. I think he's won a few goals. Like at Olympics.
Yeah.
I
Sonia
still think
O'Sullivan as well. Sure, Jesus.
Sonia
Sonia,
O'Sullivan, you'd
she
have
was
to
outrageous. Like
you'd have
Do you
to
know
put-
there was a couple of Cork fellas I knew in college. They used to call their runners. They're Sonias. Go get me a pair of Sonias. That was just always funny. Go get my Sonias.
but we like there's so many people like that
go on,
like
give us
if
your
you're gonna
three,
put
Con.
one,
Give us your
give
three.
my three best. My three best are going. I'm gonna go with Park Harrington, Roy Keane, and Katie Taylor.
Yeah, hard to. Park Harrington now is getting in there. I wonder, is there any sport? Are there any sports we're missing? Like, I suppose there's a GA and the soccer. I suppose it's probably Roy or Robbie. Robbie Keane is.
Yeah, but Roy would have to be there ahead of him. Like the
Yeah. In
Premier
terms of
League
what you
and
won,
Champions Leagues and everything, like Captains United.
Yeah,
Probably one of United's best ever captains. Like, you know what I mean?
But that's probably even more recent. Like you go back to, I know, okay, they probably in terms of what they've won, they wouldn't hold a candle to Roy Keane. But the likes of Liam Brady and John Giles, now like Liam Brady went over to Italy. Like how many lads can say they went over?
Exactly, and he dominated. Like he's put into the Sampdoria when they were very good. He's gone into their
Hall of Fame or something.
Hall of Fame, exactly. And like I know, like my John Giles as well. Like my uncle and father and all, we tell me just talk about him. Like the uncle's Leeds fan, he'd be saying,
keep it to our generation.
Like John Giles,
we've never seen them play.
Yeah, there's no point in even trying to talk about say like
but those, like if you're really getting in depth into it, I think they have to come in. But when you're really looking at what we've done now, it's become like Brian O'Driscoll probably has to get into it.
Yeah, there's one. Brian
O'Driscoll now.
Wouldn't most of them say that he's probably one of the best centers ever. Like full stop.
Yeah,
you know, like
100%.
Like even outside of Ireland, they say that.
He's in many like the top players, best ever teams, like best players ever. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's mad. To be like for a small place, we produce some amount of fucking like top level people. Like you know, like with Roy Keane there, fucking Brian O'Driscoll.
Like, right, I'm gonna make a statement here, right? But I always think this,
not like you
recently, right? Per capita, I think we're a better sporting country than America.
Oh, what? No way, Con. That's an outrageous claim. That is
That
an
I don't think
outrageous
so.
claim.
I don't
per
think so,
capita.
right? Because think about it, right. So if like there, how many people are in
There's
America?
300 million people in America.
360
300
million, yeah.
million, right? So we have 4 million,
Now we five, do
okay,
we?
or 5 million
5
now.
million.
Yeah, right.
Splitting
So
hairs.
Fantastic.
five,
Yeah.
but
There you
like,
go.
think about like what we've achieved.
So then,
You
well,
know,
if you want to do it, you're talking about per capita, right? Was there? Is there 360 million people in America? Yeah.
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 So that's we've got 5. So even the math on that, does that mean we have to produce 6 world class, or they'd have to produce 6 world class athletes for every one we produce? Am I
Yeah.
right in that?
5,
6
6.
fives? No, wait, no,
What?
60.
360.
60.
60.
72.
So do they produce 60 world class athletes for every one we produce? Probably.
560.
Because that's 306, that'd be 300 million. 60 by
Well,
5.
it'd be
Oh,
nearly
sorry.
60. If you wanted it, you can nearly say,
Like if you're going down the whole per capita route, if we produce,
it'd be
getting very
70
technical here
nearly
with the
if we're
maths,
saying
but
360. But I'm saying per capita because I'm saying like think about our rugby team, say, right? Our rugby team is hammers America, 105-0 in games. Like, so forget about the
Yeah,
rugby
yeah,
but
team.
but
they
then
have
look at the
NBA, they have NBA,
Yeah, but
MLB,
we have hurling,
NFL.
Gaelic football.
yeah, but
Yeah,
look at the Olympics, man. Look at the Olympics and how
yeah.
many medals they get in the Olympics compared to us.
But
Like I
this is
know,
this. But Jack, this is why we're saying 1 per 60. Like they're
yeah,
obviously going
yeah,
to achieve more in gold medals. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm saying.
So what
They're
you're
going to
saying
get more gold medals.
for every 60 gold medals they make, we should get 1, is it?
yeah. If we were to
Yeah,
be as good as them, yeah. If we were better, then we'd be getting more than 1 for every 60 they got.
and we get more in
Yeah, we
boxing.
actually.
We probably have 2 or 3 per Olympics. 1 or 2, maybe 2. Like,
Yeah,
Well,
but
it
but
is
the
kind
odd
of
it's
the
funny.
odd the odd horse riding one
yeah,
It is kind of
until the
funny.
horse gets caught for
One
being on
sport.
drugs. Yeah.
well, Keane O'Connor gets done for
Keane
giving us
O'Connor.
steroids.
That
But
was shot. What was it? Was it Beijing where we had 1 gold medal and then it got taken off us because the horse was on drugs?
yeah,
That's outrageous.
but
And
like,
it was
but it's I know it's a crazy statement, but when you kind of break it
I'm
down,
thinking, yeah, break it down a bit more now. Like, okay, if
yeah, just like
if that maths is right, if that maths is
yeah,
right,
yeah.
it's not too far fetched, like because you'd have to talk. I know they have NBA and I know they have NFL and all that, but we also have hurling that takes a lot of our pool, soccer that or sorry, soccer,
yeah,
rugby,
yeah.
Gaelic football,
Hmm.
boxing that's massive,
Rounders.
like in rounders. But we have a lot of things at rugby that takes a huge amount of
Jeez,
our
I'd love to
pool.
find out the proper stat on that. That'd actually be very interesting to see.
So
Like how
I'm
many?
calling this now, and I'm saying
Yeah.
that we
No,
as a country,
that was good
Calling them
old
out.
topic.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, yeah.
because when you think about it,
I
though,
just
I know
thought when I
that
heard it very first, it's like there's not a fucking chance. Why on about it? But then now the more that we're talking about it, hey, okay, maybe.
like like as well our soccer team now. I know we're still useless, but I'd also fancy ourselves
Fancy us
against.
against the Yanks.
Yeah, so would I like.
Sure,
And
I
you know,
was at the was it no? I was at the Aviva and Ireland beat USA 5-0. It was like a friendly game.
A glorious day in our footballing history.
It was
We
like really,
beating America in the 5-5.
huh?
Yeah, Cormac dropping the mic there. Case
yeah,
closed. Case closed.
Yeah.
We beat 5-0 in a friendly.
5-0 in a friendly, nice one.
Fucking yeah.
And
Yeah. So that's your 3 anyway, Corey. But Park
yeah,
Harrington.
but sorry, I'm gonna go Park Harrington, Katie Taylor, and who's the other? Roy Keane.
Roy.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Who
I think
do
I'd
you,
have Roy. I'd have Roy and Katie in there as well. I don't know. My third. Jesus. Gun to me head. Suppose success. Matt, do you know what now, Robbie? After you saying it, in terms of success, and I'd say McGregor would nearly have to be up there for success.
For me, be McGregor.
It's a fuck. Actually, I nearly feel dirty saying that. Actually, in the top 3 Irish sports people ever, but like he. Well, yeah. I think
that uprise, and there won't be an uprise like
yeah, but
that.
Are we talking about uprise or are we talking about like literal?
That's still like.
See, like that's the thing though, because you can't do it on skill because like Bernard Dunnett boxed the head off Katie Taylor, I'd say.
Yeah, but it's not just uprise. Like he won two belts, like
the two,
he won
yeah,
one 155, 145, went up to 170 and showed that he could fucking do it up there. No, he didn't win
Yeah,
it.
but now he's just been battered around the place for the
Yeah,
last
he's
8
gone.
months.
Yeah, but that's because he just like you'd wonder what he achieved, what he would have achieved if he stayed fighting in his prime. Like he just went off partying, like he wasn't even in his prime.
And just taking on Mayweather and
like doing all this crap. I know he threw it away or whatever, but like imagine what he would have done in his prime. Like could have been crazy. Like.
And do you know what? Another thing, if he didn't make the money he made, I wonder how much. Because I'd say, like, as much as he'd say the opposite. I'd say when you're, what's the quote by the famous boxer? When it's hard to get up and run at 6 a.m. when you're wearing with silk bed sheets. Yeah, which is like fucking. I'd say you can't. Sure, there's a reason he's only fighting once in a blue moon now. It's because he doesn't fucking need to. Like, you know, if he was only making fucking 20 grand, 40 grand to fight, then you know.
Like, but then if you're talking about. He's won 2 belts. Harrington's won 3 majors.
Yeah. Now, actually, to be fair, you can't. I don't think you can put him ahead of Harrington. I don't know. I suppose third one to my head: Roy Keane, Katie Taylor, and
but it's not. Doesn't just go just on how much they won, though.
I suppose it's like just being renowned for being unbelievable at your sport. Being renowned
but
for
Harrington would be renowned for.
Oh yeah, he would. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying because I'm a golf addict, but I'm just saying that also, like, he's also.
He wouldn't be renowned for being one of the best, though, would he?
Yeah, but there's also Tiger Woods that has been within that time.
Like, there's been who's
but Conor McGregor
didn't get beaten for 10 years. McGregor knocked him out.
Khabib goes and batters McGregor around the place.
Yeah,
he has lost a lot now.
What I'm trying to say is that was after he came back after his prime years. He didn't do it in his prime years. He came back thinking he was going to beat a lad who was 50.
To be fair, Cormac, you could say the same thing like Park Harrington. What's he done since? You know?
Yeah, but Park Harrington's also 50.
Yeah.
So
I suppose.
There's definitely lads who won majors that were nearly 50. Like
Phil Mickelson is the oldest lad to do it at 50. He just got
right. Fair enough.
But that's like he's the oldest lad to do it by I think a good few years.
There's serious longevity in golf, isn't there? You could just keep playing till you're
playing. Who's your man?
Till you're dead in the ground.
They all smoke cigars. He's definitely 70.
Oh, Miguel Angel Jimenez, what a legend!
He's definitely 70.
Smoke cigars.
The fucking the American lad Tom. He nearly won the major or something.
Tom Watson,
that's it,
yeah. And he was like nearly 70.
Yeah,
he just came in just as a kind of callback and invite. Rob, who are you saying then the 3? Well, Jack, you haven't given me my third.
I'd say Brian O'Driscoll in there, I suppose. Yeah,
Brian O'Driscoll, and you can't debate that, and I don't think you can really debate. That third spot is tough.
McGregor. I'd say McGregor anyways, and then my other 2 were just Brian O'Driscoll as well. I don't have any. I can't think of any other ones. Like.
Oh, Ryan Barrett. So you don't have Katie.
No, I don't know anything about it. I never followed her anything like that. I can't say Chelsea is like I said, but I don't know anything. I've never watched her. Okay, so I don't know.
It's mad, it's mad, Robbie. There's this one. There's a black female boxer in America who's considered the best in the world. She's about 4 or 5 weight divisions above Katie Taylor, and she's undefeated as well. And they're constantly saying, like, she'd often get asked in interviews, like, "Who's the best in the world, you or Katie?" And they like it's the big debate in female boxing. It's like who is the best in the world, this American one or Katie Taylor? And it's crazy. In the same way that you're talking about, is it Tyson Fury or Wilder or whoever? Like, she's the best in the world, and she's from a shed in Bray. Like, you know, it's fucking mad. Like, she's
just like Tyson Fury. Sure, he was from fucking caravan, middle of nowhere.
Tyson Fury likes to say, like, he fought. I think it was his first fight or second fight was in like the 3 Arena, and it was in an Irish card. I think it could have been under a Frampton card. And he was like talking about after, he was like, "Oh, sure, like I consider myself Irish. Like I used to be here every summer. Do you know, my cousin's over here? Like, sure, he's Andy Lee's cousin."
Is he Andy Lee's cousin? I know he was
it's their first cousins. So that's why he's Andy Lee's cousin. That's why he's Andy Lee's training him now.
Yeah.
And so he's Andy Lee. Like
Andy Lee was massive in his prime, wasn't he? Andy Lee was fucking
huge.
Like
there
was a few of them prime boxers. I remember they were on RT2 every now and then.
Bernard Dunn.
Bernard Dunn.
Oh, geez, Bernard Dunn. I remember him now.
Bernard Dunn. Do you see that lad? The lad that he lost to, Kiko Martinez. He lost to him in the 3 or the Pint. It was when it was called the Pint. He lost to him. Got knocked out. It was a big shock, like, because Bernard Dunn, whatever. your man Kiko Martinez won the title at the weekend against this young lad from England at 35, still going on and still fighting it. When this is back when the Tree Arena was called a pint, like.
He must have. What age was he when he was fighting Bernard Dunn? Very young.
Like that's probably 15 years ago.
Yeah, easily.
It's easily like, so he was probably that young. He's still fighting for fit. Imagine
anybody else like that we've just produced an absolute
years.
worldie out of nowhere. Like I didn't, like you're saying with Katie Taylor. Well, in anything, a musician or a
music now is one. Music, we fucking dominate the world in music. And you know what's a mad thing over in Vietnam? I couldn't get over this. There were Circle K's. You couldn't swing a cat and not hit a Circle K. Like they were everywhere. Every second or third shop.
Everywhere.
They were fucking, but every one of them was playing Westlife. They were playing like Westlife songs from like 10 years ago. And they're mad about Westlife over there. Couldn't believe it. Like they're like, we absolutely conquered the world in terms of music. Like everybody knows who U2 is. Everybody knows fucking, you know,
that's another thing. Per capita, we're better than America. I'm just telling you.
Music.
Music now.
Music.
Well, no, listen, we'd have to be because, like.
Well, music, I'd say we've
so much music that, like, at that stage, that they'd have to have 6 gazillion, I'd say, by the time.
No, music wouldn't be my forte now at all, but I surely to God your per capita thing doesn't stand against the States when it comes to music. Surely they produce bigger names.
Probably not. No, I'll stick to the sports one. The music one might be a bit much, but
we do produce a huge amount though. We do, like
do we produce as much music as we did? John went back in was it the 90s or whatever, that late 90s and stuff with the Euro. John, we won the Eurovision like 7 times in a row, and they were all unreal. Like, and now we just put in dust in the turkey.
But the problem is the Eurovision. Everyone votes for beside each other, like, so, like.
Yeah, but we didn't have
Poland
anyone.
vote for Austria, and then I don't know if they're even beside each other. That could have been the worst guess.
They are, yeah. You got away with it, yeah.
But like they all go for beside each other rather than actually spreading around. So that's why there are talks of, like, is it actually even a point of doing the Eurovision?
But you're fucking Australia are in it now.
Yeah, like what is that like?
Eurovision and Friends.
But is there anybody else though that we just produced that just in the, like you're saying with Katie Taylor, that she just basically from a shed and wherever, and then they're just global superstars?
The only other one that's coming to mind there now, I suppose it's not really a superstar and I can't imagine came from a shed either, but was Mary Robinson.
So
when she was
Christ, that was the one brought up from
Mary Robinson.
Well left field. Mary Robinson. She was the first female president in Ireland, but she did huge things for like female rights and all that kind of stuff, and like she's known all over the world. Like
my Irish history is very poor.
She's not that long ago. She was only president before
Mary
McAleese. Yeah, we produced Dave. Yeah, Dave Valera. Grandfather knew him. Grandfather fucking used to drive him around the place.
Did he?
From presidential guard. Yeah. I swear to God, him and Jack Lynch, mad stories about him.
Dave, Lynch as well. Jesus.
Crazy. Jack Lynch, fill me in.
He was president of Ireland from Cork. Or was he president of Taoiseach?
President and Taoiseach, I think.
There's a tunnel named after him in Cork.
Yeah, the Jack Lynch tunnel, where you hold your breath.
Go on, tell me a very fascinating piece of Irish history here. Irish folklore, man.
We were part of a 1916 rising.
What's that? I'm joking.
We were part of it, yeah. We were a fairly big part of it. Like,
yeah, we kind of came in for a few minutes
about Ireland. Like, I don't know why you just never ever paid attention to anything like that.
I tell you a weird thing that happened, with all this the Irish. You bring it up now with Irish history and that. So there was it was English lad I was living with over in Vietnam, and it was kind of a lot of Irish people used to hang around together, and a kind of stick we used to beat them with was like, say, oh, do you not know anything about like the history of England and Ireland? Like, do you not know any of this kind of stuff? Like, because we literally all of our history class, like, we had a full thick book of Irish history, and it was all about England being in Ireland basically. And he would just say flat out, like, yeah, look, I was just never taught it in school. Like we were not taught about that. We learned about the world wars and their colonies and all that kind of stuff, but they never went in depth about what happened in Ireland. Yeah. And we'd be kind of saying to them then, it was like, yeah, look, it's not, I suppose it's not your fault. You weren't taught it, you don't know, but just so you bet the shit out of us there for a good couple of 100
years.
Yeah, but then a mad thing happened then when I came over here. I got good friends with a fella from Derry, and Jesus, he told me some stories that fucking it'd make the hairs stand up on the back of your neck. Like he saw some mad shit. Like he lived in one of the bog.
Yeah, you're right. The bog side.
The bog side, yeah. Like his family, like even he's comes from a mad background or whatever. But he was telling me these stories, and while he was telling me the stories, after all, I was like, Jesus, man, that's just not as big of a part of our lives down in Kilkenny. Like, it's crazy. We wouldn't, we obviously heard it in school and that kind of stuff, but we wouldn't really have known how crazy it was up there. And he said the same thing to me that I'd say to the English side. He's like, look, Jack, I don't blame you for not knowing. Sure, how would you know? You weren't told about it. Which is, it was a mad old circle to come back around, because here's me talking to the English fellas. Look, I don't blame you. You don't know. You just don't know. And then when the fella up the road there in Derry going to go, yeah, Jack, I don't blame you. It's just you think you're kind of in a position
the North had it in a total different side to us, is that they had longer with it into the 80s. Do you know what all these, the bombings that were happening into the 90s? Sure, like my granddad's mother is from Cavan, but they were talking about going through checkpoints, going through all this kind of stuff. Like it's just a total different life.
Different to what we know. Like we know nothing about some of this stuff.
Yeah, I don't know anything
going on up there.
Absolutely not.
It's crazy.
All I hear them go on about is, I could be wrong, and is it like fascists or something? Is that like people up there? No, completely gone.
No.
What's that word they use? They fucking. This is how clueless I am with all this stuff. Like, what's the word they use for like Irish?
You got like a political thing, or like a group, or what are they? Or like a.
We'll cut it here. I don't know anything. We'll leave it here. I'm just digging a hole for myself.
Yeah, but it is. But I suppose that's the point, though, Rob. Is that we actually don't. We're so far removed from it, and then you only go up the road and there's people our age who it's their fucking whole lives. Like, it's they don't know anything different.
Rob, you were talking about unionist and national.
Yes, there you go.
Fascist, unionist.
That's like fucking.
That's your man from
Mussolini.
That's what was going. I knew
there could be fascists up there.
I knew I picked up on something in history.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it wasn't wasted on you. But yeah, no, it was. It's mad. It's mad how far removed we are from it. Like,
it is totally. Like we're.
I wonder what the next thing like that is going to happen. Like, will it be in Ireland? Like, will it be like a thing?
It could be like there wasn't not that long ago. They were talking about a referendum for uniting the 32. If like there was a certain I know when Brexit was going on, there was talk of like when they still weren't sure about what was going to happen with Brexit, it was on the table that like if what was going to happen with Northern Ireland if Britain left the EU and Ireland, because remember there was all that shit about people going over the border and trade and how was that going to work? Like, so there, and I didn't Sinn Féin said if they were going to get into the government, the first thing they were going to do was have a referendum for the 32 counties. Like, imagine that happened in our lives. Imagine we were fucking grandparents and you'd be saying to your grandkids going, yeah, I remember when there was 2 countries on this island. I remember when it was fucking, what was it like? That'd be...
And like, say, if there was a referendum, what?
Oh,
the soccer team together.
Imagine we had Georgie Best.
Yeah, when you're bringing in that group, or then now if you brought in Johnny Evans into that centre back line,
Roy Carroll.
Yeah, Roy Carroll. No, it's your man Bailey Peacock Farrell, even worse.
You wouldn't get in ahead of Bazunu by him telling you. Bazunu's the fucking man.
What a player!
But, what a save, boys! Jesus Christ!
If there was to be a referendum, like, what's the split like? As in, is it, what do you know? Like, is it mainly English up there? People represent themselves of English people up there? Or
I think
Irish?
it was, wasn't it? That was it in history, Jack. That it was mainly English, but now it's not. It's swapping.
Yeah, it's kind of. I think it's about 50-50 at the moment. Whereas, if you go back 20 years ago, it was more unionists, more people who would have wanted to stay a part of Great Britain than the fascists. Yeah, there was a fascist majority up there.
The blue shirts.
The blue shirts. Yeah.
The blue shirts. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'd be fairly close at the moment. But one thing's for certain: if it did happen, I'd say there'd be mayhem up there. If it was, if it did happen,
Would it be like more like all that fucking petrol bombing and
But man,
people's houses and cars and all that crap?
Yeah, she
I'm the last man. I'm the last man really to even know about it. But I can't imagine either side being madly happy about it. But again, fuck if I know. I was just talking about how little we know about what's going up there. Like but, it would be crazy though.
Robbie thinks Stalingrad is in Derry.
The revolution, the red curtain, the Iron Curtain, in fucking Londonderry. Mad.
Oh, it is mad. But even going back to, we're talking about the music there. Like, would you put any band in, like, what would be your top 3 that had ever come out? Like, I'm
out of Ireland.
Out of Ireland, or any musician that come out of Ireland. Like, there is, like, obviously you two have to be up there, even though we're not, like, I don't have to be
Hosier. Be a big one. I don't
know
if he'd be
in the States, isn't he?
He's huge, like.
Yeah,
I don't like. I think he's good now. I don't really listen to that much, but I know he's huge. Like, that's just one off the top of my head. Anyone else?
Yeah, I don't know. One, if talking about say favorites, like I went on a mad binge last year of the Dubliners. Got mad into all that stuff, like all the tracks. I loved it. Like,
loved them
global.
Yeah, they are like the top of the pops. See, they were on top of the pops, so that was massive for like Irish bands.
Definitely in Britain, they would be well known.
They'd be huge there. Like,
funny enough, I was working while finishing off the masters. I was working in a kitchen here in town for a while, for a couple of months, and there was an old fella who's a chef in there, and he came out. He says, "Do you know the Dubliners?" Dubliners, like, yeah, I know. He's like, he produced a CD one day, the best hits. Started singing. I started singing
vinyl the other day. Oh,
did you get a vinyl of him?
Yeah.
Have you a vinyl player?
Yeah,
you're on retro, boy.
I love vinyl. The sound is so authentic.
Jesus, yeah, you're gonna be drinking craft beers next and fucking, writing sonnets, starting a podcast,
sniffing your own farts,
Yeah, what is it, San Diego?
Loving the smell of your own farts.
Yeah, loving the smell of your shit. Don't stink.
Yeah, no, they're well, obviously they're in it, and then you're talking about like Phil Lynott and Tin Lizzy, like they went over to America as well. But I don't know who you put in there. I suppose when I made my claim,
U2, just because they're so global, like they're
U2 are so global. They're probably the biggest.
They're the biggest, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
Snow Patrol are fairly big as well, aren't they? They're fairly.
Yeah, no, they are. They're big in Carlo and awfully.
Yeah. They've played a few gigs there in Roscommon. They sold out a few pubs.
Yeah,
Killers, are they any good?
Yeah,
but
Killers aren't Irish.
Killers are English. Yeah.
Jesus, lads,
Crystal Swing.
Completely gone.
Crystal Swing. Yeah.
Crystal Swing. Yeah.
Dana.
I always thought the Killers were Irish. Don't know why.
No, they're English, but
they're all out English.
I'm only after thinking there when you said Dan out in the Eurovision. Do you remember the two twins that went on?
Dana and Joseph McCall.
Yeah. Love is forever. Love is fucking weirdo.
Yeah,
we sent some weird stuff into that thing. Dustin the Turkey as well. Oh my god,
sure. Like Eurovision for a while was. We had what was that? I got my lipstick on.
The Jedward.
Then we had Dustin the Turkey. Can't remember that one.
We won so many of them that we just started taking the piss out of it. We just said, "Will we send in a
chance?"
Yeah, here we'll send in a puppet there. We'll see how we get on.
Mickey Joe Hart.
Mickey Joe was good. No, Mickey Joe. That was the first one I can remember.
He came third. Like that was during a time that was actually really tough. Yeah, he came third. That was when Eurostar was in prime.
I went to One Eurostar, boy. I went to One Eurostar back in the day. Do you remember there was a Kilkenny band on it? Scuba Dice.
Scuba Dice, yes. Oh, what a band.
Scuba Dice, man. Banger, boy. They had one great tune. I remember we got the CD of them, and we went. I was so sickened. I remember we must have been only like, I'd say 9 or 10, and we bought tickets to the semi-final, and they were going really well in it. But it was like the semi-final, like was 2 or 3 weeks down the line or whatever it was, and they got knocked out in the quarterfinal. It was so sickening. Like we got up there, we were going up for a Scuba Dice. Like,
lads,
sure,
we found the name of our podcast. So this
Scuba dice.
episode is Scuba Dice.
Scuba dice.
Jack,
What
that
a
was
name for a
such a
band.
good. Like, how did you remember? That was fucking
Just a massive
straight
fan of
round
a
the back
poster
of
of
your
them up
head.
there. Wonder what they're at now. Wonder at the
Oh,
Yeah, I wonder what
I
that's
didn't even know who did.
There was the one. There was the modern version as well. Then of they were on Ireland's Got Talent. It was the Pyrotechnics.
Oh,
The
remember?
boys.
The
Shout out
boys.
to the boys. Aiden,
Shout out to the
all the
boys as
Aiden,
well.
lads. Like,
Aiden, what?
Aiden
Aiden
Byrne.
Byrne. That's the one.
Aiden Byrne and
Legend.
the boys. Aiden
So
Byrne and the
sound.
boys.
Such a nice. Wow,
Bang
what
on.
a
They were
crew, though,
fucking.
that.
They were a great.
They were
They were a grand
good.
old band as well.
Yeah.
Do you remember we went up and they
Yeah.
played for us in the theatre up in Kieran's?
Yeah, very good. Like, do you know?
Class.
So we might keep it going and get. We'll be the next band to go in. The Coffee
Jesus,
Pod takes the
Fucking
next.
hell. Goes to the
bit-
Eurovision.
Goes to the Eurovision.
Imagine, God, yeah, Eurovision.
No, we should
podcast.
We should call ourselves the fascists.
I don't know how well that go down in Europe. No, I'd say we wouldn't get too many votes. So it was certain countries.
The Italians would love it. There's a lad playing for. Did you know that
Mussolini trio.
Mussolini's grandson
yeah.
is playing for Lazio now?
Yeah,
Did I get it?
Yeah, and his mother,
His son.
Benito Mussolini's daughter, runs this like fascist group in oh no, sorry, it's his great grandson. So sorry, and his granddaughter runs his fascist group in Italy now, and it's his son that plays for Lazio. But your Lazio are all like they had all those. Remember they got done
fairly
for like
right wing themselves.
fascist, yeah, doing all that kind of Hitler sign and all this.
Wasn't
kind of stuff.
the joke, but the ironic thing about Mussolini's grandson playing like as professional footballer is that he played on the right wing.
That's fucking brilliant.
Ooh, getting political jokes now.
Yeah.
Very highbrow
Hate
comedy.
politics.
Do you remember DeCanio? DeCanio did that sign. Remember he was doing the whole kind of sign as
salute.
well, which the salute, like Jesus, the whole.
He was mad as a bag of spiders. That fella.
Yeah, but you're looking. Yeah, he's just mad as a bag of spiders.
Ever see that when he
come out
pushed
with
over the
best
referee?
lines.
Yeah, you go.
There's some lines that you just don't know. Like you don't know where this is coming from.
Yeah, I just make it up myself. Stay up all night. Just going, what's something that's
Saying
mad
that on the podcast?
I'm just lying in bed on my own going, isn't a bag of spiders really mad?
You just trial him on the podcast that Robbie doesn't record.
Yeah, see if they
Oh, I'm gutted. I'm actually so gutted over that.
disappeared like a fart in the wind. I'm out with them all now. That last podcast disappeared like a fart in the wind.
Yeah,
It really did.
listen,
It really
that's
fucking
the way
did.
it was. But we're gonna disappear like a fart in the wind now, boys.
Right now.
Great
segue.
Great. Listen. Thanks for listening this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I think it was very enjoyable, and keep sharing the podcast, YouTube, everything, and peace out.
Don't forget to vote for Scuba Dice in your star. Yep, good luck.
League.